something we never expected. I think we're going to look back on this and just see how amazing people stepped up and said, we're going to do this. We're going to help, all that good stuff. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's been a whirlwind, but we're seeing progress around town. A lot of people have their power on outside the barrier islands.
Yeah, power came up pretty quick.
Yeah,
Sanibel and Captiva, we got power coming, and I think people will be surprised about that too. We're going to talk about a couple things tonight. The week, what went through the week. I'm going to turn off my little beeper. What we did through the week, what's been going on with McMurray and Members and us here at Royal Shell Real Estate. Real estate update. Naturally, we sell real estate, so we're going to get an update. We are back in business, but we're still serving our community. We've been doing a lot of that, helping people, and that's what it's about, and that's what everybody's been doing, and that's going to continue. That's not going to stop anytime soon. And then some hot topics that are being talked about, being asked from us as realtors. There's a lot going on with people's properties, reconstruction questions that people are coming to us, whether it's on Sanibel, Captiva, Fort Myers, wherever it's at. So I think we'll start with what we've been doing over the last week. And last week we visited a couple nonprofits, Valerie's House, Gulf Coast Humane Society, Harry Chapin, PACE, and Dr. Piper Center. We're doing more. We've got some videos being pushed out now. The Valerie's House video has had tremendous response. If you haven't seen it, go to our YouTube site, go to Valerie's House. They've got it posted on there. It's out there on social media, and we've raised money from it. So that's the power of video and social media. And so thank you for those that have watched it and contributed. Every dollar adds up. For all these nonprofits, for these grassroots nonprofits and Valerie's House. I just got to say something about Valerie's House. You know what it means to me, not near and dear to my heart. Lost my dad when I was young, my stepfather, all that good stuff. So grief. And they stepped up day one. And not that the other nonprofits didn't, but just like in COVID, Valerie's House just continues to lead the pack, be an incredible example for nonprofits, incredible CEO, Angela Melvin, founder, her team, the board, everybody. But there's a lot of great nonprofits out there. So for you viewers right now, or anybody listening to this, give to those nonprofits, those local grassroots nonprofits. Again, check out some of our videos too. We're pumping it out there. It's free of charge for them. It's a give back from us to them and the community. We did it before, and we will continue to do that. So that's one of the things we've done this week is promoting those videos, and they're coming out, and more will come out. One of the big things we did since we last were on air on Wednesday, Thursday, we went out to Captiva and we served first responders. We served workers. We took Mission Barbecue out to Captiva. We served 125 people. It was incredible. And people might say, well, Captiva, everybody needs help. And the people that we served are the workers out there, the first responders out there. So it's the same people all over Southwest Florida that we were serving. Yeah, there were some owners there too, and they appreciated it. We're going to do that in Fort Myers too. We're going to do it all over. So it was a great experience. It's pretty special. It's pretty incredible too. We should have had it on tape, but to see 3 helicopters land in front of your barbecue, and it'd be Carmine, Sheriff Carmine, Kevin Ruane, our county commissioner, and a lot of other, law enforcement from all over the state.
Yeah, I mean, you had fire trucks from Panama City Beach.
Yeah, right in front of the barbecue, getting out of the truck. They loved it. They were so appreciative. And we're doing it again tomorrow. So it's supposed to rain, so we'll see how that goes. But we're going to be there, feeding the workers out there. Let's see.
I'll say one thing about these charities too. Like, we're starting to get out of the national news media and stuff like that, but they're going to continue to need help for years to come.
Oh yeah.
Because this is going to be a long recovery for us in most areas.
And people from outside this area are giving to this area, and they want to make sure they know where their money goes to.
Right.
You've got United Way, Red Cross, all that are great groups too, but the grassroots need your help. I was in a board meeting at Valerie's house today, and it's like we go year to year, we go week to week, month to month on trying to raise money, and we don't get some of the assistance that some other nonprofits do, and there's other nonprofits that are in the same boat, but they need your help because they are serving the community, doing what they do best too. So don't forget about our local nonprofits and helping them out because your money's going in the right direction. We also, one of the nonprofits we featured, the video is coming out tomorrow, is Dr. Piper Center. And they had a huge tree on their house, on their center. It was a giant oak. I mean, it was probably 100 years old. And they didn't know what to do. And we don't want these people to pay if they don't have to. So a couple guys local, we wanted it done free. RLD Landscape and Design, Jesus Hernandez Landscaping, and Aztec Irrigation took that tree down, took it away for free. So shout out to them. Kudos to them. They did a great job and helped Dr. Piper Center and Melissa Bonner, the CEO and director over there.
Basically helped saving them about $5,000.
Jackson Simonson, our teammate, got that done. So kudos to him too. So that was one of the other things, big highlights. We posted the Valerie's House video. We talked about, we raised a bunch of money from it. And I think there's more money coming in, and all that money goes to hurricane relief. We've written checks, thousands and thousands of dollars to families that have been displaced, lost their homes, lost everything. So again, Valerie's House working with grieving kids and families, and imagine losing your home, losing that tree that you and your dad planted before he passed away. And during the storm, Hurricane Ian took it. And now I'm reliving that grief, reliving that loss of my dad. And that tree was sacred to me. So there's so much that goes into this mental health, everything that's going on with our kids, our families and elderly, everybody out there. So we got to think about those kind of things.
Yeah.
It's going to be here with us for a while. So please think about that and those organizations that help that. We told the story on that video too of Valerie's House. Please watch it. It's pretty impactful. You even get to see me cry. So I think you'll get a laugh out of that too. It was sincere. So I'm going to skip the page on this. Real estate. Let's get down and dirty.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do is sell real estate. We haven't been doing a lot of selling and selling real estate and helping buyers, but we're starting to get calls in. And I just got an offer on a lot on Sanibel, and it wasn't a bad offer. So I was very surprised, this early. You are going to see a lot of people come in and try to steal things, but I think in some markets, market specific, I think it's all
Fort Myers and Cape Coral is going to stay pretty strong. I mean, the inventory was very low before, and there's a lot of stuff that came off the market because it got flooded or had some damage to it. But there's plenty of homes out there now. We have several listings right now that literally had zero damage.
Yeah, I showed property today, and to a guy from the island, and we looked at Gulf Harbor subdivision over there, condominiums, and the night before I'm making my appointments to look at the condos, 2 had already gone under contract that day. So people that have been displaced are looking for a new place. Rentals is a hot topic. That was probably, I'm skipping around a little bit, but
rentals are going fast.
Do you rent or do you buy? Because the rental market is.
I think the rental market is going to force some people to buy. Yeah. Even at 7% interest rate or higher, it's still might be a lot cheaper than renting.
And I think those are the things that you talk to with your realtor as far as should I rent, should I buy, and making good sound decisions. It's tough to find rentals out there.
Yeah.
And for the price of some of these rentals, what it's costing a month, it might be smarter to buy, to hang your hat maybe here. It's not your dream home, because you're waiting for your home that was your dream home to get fixed. And some areas are waiting a little bit longer. So, again, market specific, Fort Myers and Cape Coral. We keep saying, I think this hurricane, as bad as it has been and what it's done in certain markets, it may have stabilized the market there. because that market may have been heading down and
Yeah, we were
correcting
starting to
itself.
soften a little bit and stuff sitting out on the market for much longer. Still getting good prices on a lot of the properties, but we were definitely starting to feel a little softening
Yeah,
there.
we were starting to feel some softening. So maybe this has kind of stabilized certain segments of the market,
Right.
because like I said today, I showed condos in that 4 to 700 range, and in all price ranges right there, 4 to 700, they were starting to be gobbled up. And I think that's going to continue as the price moves up. You take out a lot more buyers, so maybe you won't have that type of,
Right.
you know, um, market there as far as many interests. But I think it's going to stay strong in Fort Myers and Cape Coral. It's easy when you have roads
Right.
and utilities and access and all that. So those markets I think will come back pretty quick. And Captiva, I'm very impressed with Captiva. I think every day it gets better and better. I think Captiva and Sanibel have separated themselves. It was already separated. Sanibel is an incorporated city. Captiva is Lee County. Kevin Ruane, our county commissioner, he pretty much runs Captiva. He doesn't run Sanibel. Sanibel has its own mayor, has its own government. It looks like they're getting their stuff together. I saw a release yesterday about permitting. So they're expediting that, where if you had certain type of repairs that needed to be done, you didn't have to go for a permit. But they do have restrictions and guidelines to that. For instance, the roof. If you had 500 square feet or more of roof damage, which a lot of properties did, you don't have to go for a permit. So if a lot of those properties had more than 500 square feet, you have to go for a permit.
Yeah.
So permitting on Sanibel before the storm was an issue. It was backlogged. Hopefully they will expedite that and see that, we don't want to slow this process out on Sanibel. Not that I'm concerned with Sanibel. They got good government. They got incredible owners and great people out there. So hopefully everybody comes together there and really sees how important this is to just keep things moving along. Protect the islands. It is an environmentally sensitive island. That's what makes Sanibel so special. Captiva, again is Lee County. So again, Captiva wasn't affected that much. I mean, I think Charlie damage was worse on Captiva.
It was just as bad or not as bad.
But we have a causeway that helps us get there. Even though they're barging out there, even though a lot of boats are going out there, materials are being barged out there, it's still the causeway opened, but not to everyone.
Yeah.
Pedestrians, residential owners, owners on Sanibel and Captiva can access, I think, on the 21st of October.
Because they've still got to pave the road actually too. And if you look at Matt Lachey, who was a little bit ahead of us, they've got a blacktop paved road with lanes going over there now.
I just don't know how much traffic that temporary causeway is going to let loose. I remember in Charlie, because I was living on the island in Charlie. And I sold my house before Charlie, and I bought my new house in Charlie that I was going to remodel. Didn't have any damage on my new house that I was remodeling. It took me 2.5 years to do that remodel because we had time constraints on the causeway, certain times for heavy trucks. It's not like they're going to just open the gates there. So, and there's a lot more damage to structures on this one than there was Charlie. So we got a lot of work ahead of us. There is going to be a process, and it is going to take time.
So if I'm a homeowner, I've got damage to my house, I've got flooding to my house, what do I want to focus on when I'm putting it back together?
Well, those are some of the questions that we were going to get to on, questions and topics that we're talking about. But we'll jump right into that because that's
a big thing
something
right
now. And the thing is everybody's, talking about certain things, and you just got to understand the whole dynamics of this, especially for a market like Sanibel.
Yeah.
Just because you get a causeway and access, you still have an incorporated city with the Sanibel plan. And if people don't understand the Sanibel plan, there's a reason for that Sanibel plan to protect the islands.
Right.
So they don't just rewrite the Sanibel plan. I'm not in government, so I don't know how that's done, but you just can't. There's a process there. They can, let certain things be, but they've still got to protect the island. So, there's a lot to still, understand and figure out. So that's Sanibel.
Yeah. Just
so, but your question, as far as if I'm remodeling my home, The one thing that we've been keep on talking about, and people might not understand, is when I remodel my home, we talk about, there is a disclosure issue now.
Yep.
One of the first things that people are going to talk about when selling their home one day, the buyer's going to come in and say, what kind of damage did you have from Hurricane Ian?
And you're not, even if you're not selling this year, but you're selling in 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, people remember what happened here, and they're going to ask that question.
Disclose, and you're going to have to disclose.
Right.
So one of the biggest things you need to do as an owner is document, video, pictures.
Don't cut corners. Do it the right way. Use the licensed contractor. Use licensed people, because that could come back to haunt you.
There are going to be people that say, did you replace the plumbing? Did you replace the electrical? Especially on Sanibel.
Yeah.
Salt water, all those kind of things. What was done here? Permitting. All that stuff's going to come into play later on. So you better do it right, because if not, it can end up hurting you in the end.
Yeah.
We had that with Charlie. There were people that did roofs without a permit, and we had issues with that on some transactions years later. We got through it, but it's a little bit bigger. We're dealing with flood.
Mm-hmm.
We're dealing with things that are caused by flood, mold, restoration of that.
And I think you've got a lot of out-of-state people coming. I've had like 3 guys from Texas knock on my door asking me about my roof, and they're going to come and do your roof. Where are they going to go after that?
Yeah.
You want to make sure you're using local, reputable companies and stuff like that.
I think so,
too.
but there's not enough workers out there. There's not enough contractors out there. There's not enough builders out there. We don't have the help. We don't have the materials.
Right.
So you're going to have a lot of people coming in this market. I met one the other day. He was coming from up north. He wasn't licensed. And he was saying, I got 20 people on the ground ready to help. You got to be careful with things like that.
Yeah.
As an owner, as a homeowner. And those are the kind of things that you talk to your realtor about. And just use as a sounding board. Most of these people are pretty savvy. They're pretty smart people. But I think it's important to talk about those things. I mean, I was with a client today, and he's a very savvy guy, very wealthy guy. And I'm a sounding board for him. We're talking about all those things. He was ready to buy a Sanibel property. And I said, do you really want to buy that property right now for your mother-in-law, and be going through what you're going through over the next couple of months, 6 months, year, whatever? She's 83 years old. I said, what about buying a property in Fort Myers as an intern and going that route? And he said, that might be smart. We still may buy that Sanibel property, and nothing against it, because that market will start to rebound and selling going on right now. I don't think we're thinking about that on Sanibel.
It's going to come back way stronger, but it's going to take some time.
But you gotta think about these things all the way through, renting, buying, all those kind of things. So a lot to think about. And I think realtors can be a great sounding board. And if they're doing it right and giving good advice instead of thinking about their pocket, the money one day will come to you if you do it right. So we've always been that case here at our group. Let's see.
50% rule.
50% rule. Most people don't even understand the 50% rule.
A lot of people have no idea.
There's a lot of these homes that are ground level, especially on Sanibel and Captiva. Fort Myers, even in certain areas that are a little bit more flood prone, that are below. And if your home is more than 50% destroyed, can you build it back? You can build it back, but it's got to be to the current codes.
Right.
So there's a lot there.
And that value is not, your lot value is backed out of that value. It's the value of the structure, which a lot of people don't know.
And also too, do you want to put good money to bad? I mean, there could be some cases with some types of properties that maybe I don't want to remodel that ground level structure on the water that's prone to flooding. Is it better off scraping and just selling it as a lot? Doesn't mean it's lost value.
Right.
I was talking to somebody on the river the other day on that. They said, should we remodel it and put it back, or should we scrape it? And I said, I would scrape it. I would collect the insurance money and just scrape it, because I think the value is, within the lot.
Yeah.
So that's what they're going to do. And they got an incredible lot, fantastic lot. So I think those are conversations that you have with your realtor, hopefully a good one, and that gives good advice. one of my clients said to me the other day, and not to preach us whatsoever, but this is when the good realtors are asked to step up, and this is when we shine. And this is when people seek us out, because in hot markets, I don't want to say anybody can sell your property, but in markets like this, you need great advice, trust, honesty, all those kind of things people look for in a market like this.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you have to look to in a realtor. And there's a lot of good realtors out there. I'm not saying we're the only ones. We want you to call us. But we've got great experience, all that good stuff, and we're going to give you great advice. But there's some other good ones out there too, and we know them and we respect them and we work well with them. So if you don't have assistance, please give us a call.
I think another thing maybe to mention too is that people definitely haven't given up on Southwest Florida. I mean, there's guys that were planning to build on Fort Myers Beach or Sanibel or Captiva, and they're still going to build that house, but they're actually going up a few more feet on the base level elevation now.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to learn a lot from this storm, and it's going to, with the new product that's built and things that are done, we're going to understand and learn a lot from this. So it will get better, and things will, better things will come from it. As far as buyers calling in, I've got all type of buyers coming in. I've got buyers that I've worked with over the years that are investors, and they want to pick up some good deals if they can. And certain markets you might see that a little bit more than others. So there's plenty of buyers out there. Buyers that want to steal things, buyers that just want a good deal, and they'll park it and wait for the market to turn around because they know it's going to turn around faster than what some people might think. So so we've got buyers out there. So it's good to see. Like I said, on Sanibel, I got an offer on my lot on the beach. Not sure if it's going to go through. It was a low offer, but not that bad. I was surprised. I thought it would be lower. But I talked to the agent today, and we talked about the situation. And for that lot on the beach on Sanibel, I said, hey, you're going to wait, not because of the storm. It's going to take you a year and a half to get it planned, to get the permitting. Before the storm, it was doing that.
Yep, that's how long it took.
So by that year and a half of getting all that stuff done, I mean, the island should be a lot better in shape and a lot more positive energy coming back in. So, those guys, that are going to build, I don't think they've really been affected. I mean,
no.
And 2 doors down from that lot, he had just broken ground. And I talked to the builder the other day. I said, what's going on with that client of ours? And he said, oh, we're starting back up next week. So jobs that were under construction are already started back in construction.
When you look at some of the properties that have been damaged, and you look at the newer homes that were built in the last 10 years, and they had some damage, but some of them on Captiva I saw look like they hadn't even had any damage at all.
Even on Sanibel, there's one I have in Sea Spray. It looked beautiful,
untouched.
There was nothing wrong with it whatsoever. So the new construction held up. Big question is, ground level homes, especially on a barrier island, if that's where it's at.
Yeah, a little tough.
Do the new buyers coming in, are they going to want that? Is it going to have a little bit of stigma to it? A little bit more so than last? It could. So those are things that you need to talk to your realtor about. Not all properties are the same. Some properties that might be more the case than others. So I think those are things you have to talk to your realtor about. Get good advice, and that's what we're here for. We're at 24 minutes. 24 minutes. We're already going. Gosh. I hope I'm not rambling on too much. What else? Licensed contractor, understanding who you're working with, locals versus contractors from afar. Not the contractors from afar are not bad. Document what you're doing with the property, what you have to do, disclosure issues, things like that. Those are some of the hot topics that we were talking about. 50% rule. We're getting people calling us in, asking, is it a good time to start, to market my property again? We had 4 listings just this past week. We just listed, and they're great properties.
Yeah.
And they're not going down in price. One of them we just listed today at 2.3. 3 years ago, that property, I think, was down to $1.8 million before the market started taking off.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a good price at 2.3. I think he's going to have a lot of activity. It's a gorgeous home on the water, new construction, beautiful. So there's going to be some properties out there, and I think we're going to get multiple offers on it. I really do. I think it'll be very desirable for the market. Some of the other properties that we've listed, one of them had damage.
Yeah, one of them had
remediated.
Had a few inches of water, and it's not remediated yet. And it's getting offers because there's nothing out there in that location.
They're remediating
right.
it. They're
doing it the right way, doing it all
good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So, when's a good time to market specific? When's a good time? Rent versus buy. We talked about that. Rentals that I've seen out there, people are asking me about rentals. Rentals are through the roof.
It's very tough right now.
Oh, it's through the roof, so, and I think our real estate market, might start to get to that also, with certain segments of the market. So, I don't know. I think that's all I had to say today. What about you? Anything else? I think it's just great to see everybody coming together. We didn't see this in Charlie, even though Charlie had a lot of help too, but not like this.
Yeah.
Not like this. So
Charlie also fit in the eye of
Ian. Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about, but
we're
day 15.
Day 15. We will go live again next week. Hopefully we'll get better at this, but we appreciate you guys listening. Check out our social media, subscribe, join Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. We've got plenty of material being loaded up there. I think good information too. So thanks for joining us tonight. McMurray Members of Royal Shell Real Estate. We're here to serve. We're here to help. And we'll keep on getting better. And again, thank you.
We've got some good resources on McMurrayMembers.com too. So check us out there.
Yeah. Thank you guys.